Well, Paul, I'm very pleased that we're online now, and this is Dr. Mary Jo Bolbrook from Durham, North Carolina. I'm connected with Energy Medicine Partnerships and also the Dean of Continuing Education at Akamai University and Director of Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Our topic today is looking at dealing with higher sense perception, and Paul is a specialist in CAM therapies and has integrated both his practice as a chiropractic and his work in energy medicine and his shamanistic studies with a variety of traditional healers that he has studied with. And so I'd like to welcome you to our presentation, Paul, and ask for us for this particular part to talk about your experience in dealing with spiritual beings and resources of higher sense perception, and what else you would like to say about that topic.
Well, where do you want to start with all that? I mean, because it's, there's so much there. Did you want to talk about the angels? I know you asked about, you wanted to talk about angels, or,
Yes, let's start with that, because one of the topics we had at our Congress was connecting with angels, and there were three of us here, Barbette Spittler and myself, who've had specific encounters with angelic beings, and our goal was to share that with the audience so that people can learn to be more receptive to allow angel inspiration and guidance to come in their personal lives.
Sure. For me, as like I said, when you first asked me, wow, when I first started working with people, I had no idea what was going to happen, really. And one of the things that started happening was that, because everybody talks about angels, and you read about angels, and you can, but when you have an experience, it's kind of a different, it's a different thing. So when I first met you and I started with, energy and energy healing, there was also another patient of mine, and she said, well, why don't you come to one of my classes? And I said, what do you mean? She says, well, I teach angels. I teach about angels. And I said, okay, well, angels sounds good. And I did. I took a whole workshop with her, with learning about the names of the angels and connecting and meditating with the angels. And, it was great. It was really nice. It was, and so my first experience was that in one of the group meditations that we had, there was one of these women who was, I guess she was clairvoyant, right? She could, but she was Claire, I mean, she was Claire everything. She could hear. She was in the group meditation. So during the meditation, I was enjoying the meditation. And, for me, I was just happened to see, it was like, cartoons, I would see this angel over here, and okay, that's cool. And, the clothes that they're wearing and the things that are floating around. And for me, it was just like cartoons. I was just kind of like watching a cartoon program, and I thought that I was just imagining all this, and that's what it was. Oh, okay, well, I've got a full imagination. I've always loved to watch cartoons, and I guess that's, kind of what's happening. And so the meditation was over, and the instructor, now said to this woman, okay, would you like to share with us what you saw during the meditation so that the class can, you know, connect more and da 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 da. So this woman starts talking about everything that she saw and where the angels were and what they were doing. And I almost had a heart attack because it was exactly what I saw. It was exactly. And that was the first time where I was just, what is going on? How is it possible that she could see my cartoons? You know? And so that was the first time that I'm like, wait a minute, well, maybe I'm really seeing something. Maybe they really do exist or whatever. So that was my first kind of wake up or awareness that there may be something going on here. And then over the years, as I started doing the energy medicine and just kind of following the steps and doing what everybody does, and just kind of connecting with spirit, you know, I could start feeling tremendous energies, and I get a sense, and then I could see different kind of, you know, to me like light beings, you know. And then I realized the difference between an angelic type of energy or a spiritual guide type of energy, and I could see it. And then once I saw it and really knew that this was happening, that's when the healings kind of just went to a new level. You know, because I knew, like most healers know, that we really don't do any of the healing. We're kind of just there to connect worlds, really, and to facilitate and to be vehicles and instruments. And once that started happening, um, angels would say what they're doing, they'd show me what they're doing, they'd help me understand, and they'd say, ask this person about this, and that's kind of my experience. You have to ask me more questions because I'm, you know, I can
Okay,
talk and talk
one
and
of
talk.
the things is one of the things, well, I'll just mention for me, angels were part of my faith tradition and experiences. It was something more we talked about, and they seem very removed from real life experience. And what I've come to understand over the years is that they can become personal in our lives as we invite them to connect more fully with us. And one story I'll mention, I was flying into Christchurch in New Zealand, and I had forgotten to say a prayer when I was first flying, which I usually do. And so I made a statement, or I said a prayer, and I saw an angel underneath the wings as if she was holding up the airplane. And I go, that's a strange looking picture. And just then the airline pilot came on, and he said, or what happened first is the plane made a very steep descent, and very suddenly and very abrupt. And I've flown all over the world, and this is the first time I experienced anything like that. And then, as quick as it made a sharp descent, it made a sharp ascent going upward, just as steep as it went down. And in my head, I'm thinking, that is very bizarre. I've never seen anything quite like that. And I looked out the plane, and this time the angel was standing on top of the wings. And I thought, well, whatever was the problem, it looks like it's corrected now. And shortly after that, the pilot came on, and he said, oh, not to worry. We lost our visibility for a while, and we had to make a sharp descent, but now we're back on course. And you look at, was it a coincidence? And I go, well, that's a very unusual coincidence. And it was one of the first clearest signs that I had about the real tangible experience with angels. And then I began to trust more and more and tap into working directly with them for my own personal life and assisting clients. And it's not so much that people have to believe in something in order for it to work. It's just like, I don't know much about radio waves or internet waves, et cetera, et cetera. I know how they work. No, I've observed how they work because I'm on the internet. I'm talking to you in Peru in real time. And so I can begin to work with something that is hard for me to understand and make it a valuable contribution in my life. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss this topic with you. Both of us are healthcare professionals. We're committed to a scientific way of being in the world and operate in a classical traditional setting, but we're both interested in things that go beyond the ordinary five senses. And we have developed our abilities in this way. And that's just one of my stories. And if you'd like to share some of the things that have happened to you or what you because the angels want people to connect with them. They're not just looking to speak from you and me, but they're looking to have a real experience with many people here on Earth.
Well, the first thing is you just got to ask for it. That's all. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with religion or the color of your skin or where you come from. It's just, if you want to work with them, all you have to do is ask. Period. That's number one. Then number two, you just got to trust. One of the things that happens, everybody has ups and downs in their lives, and so what connecting with the angelic energies and the realms, what happens is they once you're at that point and you kind of trust in everything, they kind of just they kind of take you out of your body and they rise you up, and then you look down at your life and they kind of say, stop worrying about the little things. Trust that you're being guided, trust that you're being protected, and trust that things are really going to work out for you. But you have to want things to work out for you, and just know that, and don't get caught up in the tiny, dramatic, negative things that happen in our lives every single day, and that's what we get caught up into. And the angels kind of say, ooh, let's get out of that and relax. And that's one of the main ways where you can connect and just kind of let go and know that you're being guided, you're being taken care of, you're being protected, and then things will start, then you just kind of, okay, watch it unfold. Let it unfold for you. And, once you're out of that crisis, that resistive state, and you kind of open your heart and you let things flow, things will start flowing better for you. That's just kind of for everybody. And then for healers, once you're just connect and ask, that's all. And then, you'll see little by little, you may not see it. Everybody has a different, way of connecting, but they're always there and making things happen for us. Because that's how it happens. That's just one of the way it happens. Sure. Right. And for me now, it happens every time I connect, because that's just part of the energetics of the healing process.
Well, I might have to stop here in a minute. Somebody's come to the door that I need to guide them with what they have to do here. If you want to share one of if you might see me jump up and leave, and then I'll come back after I get them started. But if you want to talk about one of your most inspiring stories that has influenced your life with your work with angels.
There's so many. Uh, but I'll just tell you one of like when I was first getting started, I knew that I was connecting with angels, and I knew that there was I knew it was going on, but I was afraid, really. Didn't quite understand it. I was afraid to kind of just, all right, but should I tell somebody about this? Or, am I really getting valid information for these people? And that's when I started doing the angel workshops that you taught me how to do and you pushed me into doing.
Good. Well, just continue on, and I'll be right back.
Yes. And so Mary Jo showed me how to put together an angel workshop, and at one point she says, now you just start doing them. And I'm like, okay. Because part of the angel workshop is you connect with the angels, and the angels give you readings about the energetics of the person, and or some type of information that would be very useful for them as far in regards to the healing process. And I was kind of scared, and and I'm like, oh my God. And then once I just started doing it, and once I started doing the meditations, and once I got in the zone, and then once I just kind of connected, I wasn't seeing any angels or anything, but I would just look at the person, I would get the information, I would write it down, and I trusted in that process. And as I began to trust in the process, it was just the messages and the information was clearer and clearer and clearer, and I would keep doing it, and just alone with the meditation, people would start feeling better. And then when I came to the point where I give them the message was so useful, not for just that one person, for so many other people, and then people are crying, and people are just having these incredible experiences. And I was getting so many confirmations on the information that I was giving that was what they needed to hear. That was so everything started to fall in place once I got over the fear and once I started to trust. And that was how I got started as far as connecting with angels and healing. And then when I stopped doing that for a while, somebody would come in and give me a candle with an angel on it, or they would give me a card with an angel on it, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I need to be doing this more often. And then I stopped doing energy healing for a while, and I just got the call again, Paul, do what you do, and I started up, and now once I just committed to it, um, it's at such a different level. And it's such a joy, and it's a process, and I'm just like everybody else. I'm just like all of you healers out there who are just beginning, and for some of you who are even more advanced than I am. I mean, it's just get in there, do what you love to do, and enjoy the process, and you will see how wonderful and lovingly guided that we are, and things will happen for you in your way as it's supposed to. And really, people are needing this type of healing. It's very important that we continue with the work that we're doing. And Mary Jo, so thank you for the opportunity to talk about angels. One of the angels that I've been working with recently is, I don't always get the names, but lately I was getting the names of this archangel. Mostly I work with archangels. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, but process doing what they need to do, and so I'm back.
Well, I talked about how I started with the angel workshops and how you pushed me into that, and that's how my communication kind of, once I got over my fear of doing that and the process of how that evolved, and then I kind of just talk about, I was about to talk about the day where the angel, one of the angels that I seem to connect with quite often is Archangel Raziel. And this archangel is just, for me, when he appears, he's about just, bringing order, clearing house, any type of negative energy is put in its place. He goes into the other worlds, he brings things in, brings things back, protects, closes, opens doors. I mean, very, very powerful, incredible experience in regards to clearing out negative energies. And also has to do a lot with magic in different realms and different worlds. And so I don't know what else to say about that, except it's incredible. You have to ask me questions.
Well, do you think that actually I'm seeing a picture as I paused a moment, and the picture is is an arm around me, and it came on the back and rested on my shoulder here, and it feels like a soothing, protective resource for me. And yeah, so that's just what I experience right now, and it may be being said to give people a demonstration of something.
What do you mean in demonstration?
Of how they connect with us just automatically.
All right, so you're the queen of demonstrations. I mean, that's always.
Okay, well, one of the things I experience it is support. And I thought it was curious because right now we're struggling with, for 4 days, we haven't had any heat, any cooling here, and the man just came to fix it. And when I sat down and you asked me to ask you some questions, I came up with just an experience. An experience was like I felt something come out and touch me on the shoulder from behind me and touch me on the shoulder. And it felt like an experience of caring and comforting.
Yeah. A big yellow arm.
Right.
And so, what do you want me to say about that?
Well, just what do you, as you tune into it, what do you see? Does something come to you that you want to comment about? Because this is a way the process starts. Someone, either one or the other person, makes a comment, some image appears to them, and then they start a dialogue with it to try to understand it more.
Right. And so, I guess, when you and I get together, always there's a tremendous energetic connection, and there's always a lot of fun things that happen. And so I guess, when you talked about that feeling, I could see the arm around you. I could see there's like I could see it's more not like an angelic type of energy, but more of a spiritual guide type of energy. Beige and gold, tall, behind you and kind of whispering in your ear. That's kind of, the next piece.
Well, then I also wanted to share with folks, you and I over the years have experimented with things as we learn new things. And it's not so much like it says, okay, now turn to your algebra book on page 45 and it'll give you the formula on how to do this, that, the other thing. It's actually been a living in the experience opportunity is probably what I would say best. And I remember at one point in time, you and I were, oftentimes we'll call each other when we may be going through a difficult time and support and help each other through that, because we all need each other as we go through life and deal with things that happen to us. And I remember at one point, you and I put our hands up and shared energy that way. And I was just showing to do that so that people who may be watching this video can and who are sensitive and open can experience the flow of energy. And as I put my hands up, I could begin to feel the energy. And what you describe, I felt it through me and behind me, and the flow of energy that is now coming out my hands, and knowing that that is available. And I'm sending it to Paul and anyone else who watches this video to experience what they can experience. And it's just like 2 people, 3 people, 5 people can be at a stadium and look at all the stuff that's in front of them, watching a game or an event. And there's so many things going on, and different people tune into different things that most interest them. They're available to it, or they tune into that. And that's what this is, and a demonstration of sending and experiencing the energy, that it's there if you're interested or willing to receive it. So it's almost as if the energy that I experience coming through me from what I first saw and then Paul commented on, that energy then can come forward and it can be experienced even through something like the internet.
Well, it's very effective, and that's exactly, it works that way. Everybody or anybody watching is invited into this. It's a wonderful, energetic, golden globe of energy, and just kind of feel that you're within that circle of love and light and blessings, and an expanding golden energy is what's happening. And I mean, I didn't have to put my hands up to start feeling it, and then I started understanding where this was going, and then I started getting the messages, and then that's what it's about. Anybody who's listening, anybody who's watching can really connect and feel the energy, and it's available for anyone or in any place at any time, and it's beautiful. It feels great, and it's so inviting, and it's just kind of says welcome into our into our circle.
Well, one of the things, I feel a pulsation in my third eye, and it's almost like a heartbeat pulsation. It has a flow to it, an open and a closing. And from there, my mind went to one of the things that I had wanted to do, Paul, is for the closing of our Congress that we were having, is that you and I would be on live at the time of the closing, and we weren't able to orchestrate that for various kinds of reasons. But this feels like a completion of that process. And I will send this out to those who were here at the Congress in person and who are interested in it, so that they can feel or experience the summation of the energy flow that is generated by our exchange and our holding the sacred space for that. And I'm reminded, my sister who was here and actually helped quite a bit, as well as Suzanne Eisman, for this Congress, the 3 of us were on spot here trying to make this a very comfortable, very nice experience for everyone. And what someone said to my sister, she had surgery last year, and this friend, who's a mutual friend of ours, my sister had gone to see her. It was either sometime yesterday. And the friend said, "Carolyn, I've never seen this before, but your energy since your surgery feels all put together and glowing." And it reminded me that she, and being in this environment of the Congress that was designed as not only just an intellectual piece, but in a total experience for people to have the experience that this helps shapes our consciousness and our energy field. And so the fact that you and I are linking, Paul, now it's helping to add the dimension I wanted to add to the Congress, which is an experiential piece of feeling an additional high vibration and tuning into that at whatever level the person is able to experience it.
And, that's exactly what happens on any type of workshop or just right now. I mean, just, watching. As soon as you start connecting, and I guess we're talking about angels and angelic energies, as far as experiential, I mean, that's what happens. You just kind of start bathing. You don't have to even want it to happen. It just happens. You start bathing in this energy, and all of a sudden there's a calmness and there's this awareness, and then really, it's you kind of just have to say, "Wow, okay, thanks,"
Right. One other piece that we had planned to talk about is cutting the ties that bind. And I know you've worked with plant medicine as well as angelic beings. And would you like to say anything about that at this time as well?
Well, plants and human beings, we naturally go together, They take in what we breathe out, and we take in what they give out. That's the connection. I mean, it's a vitalistic, surviving connection that we have with the plant world. The funny thing is, however, is that plants could actually live without us. We cannot live without plants.
There's a twist on things.
Okay, but the connection is there. That's a connection. Human beings in the plant world, I mean, we're meant to be together. I mean, there is no, you don't have to think about it too much. And so working with plants on any level is just a tremendous help for us in our process, no matter what. I mean, for instance, if you go into a house and you see a beautiful, set of flowers in the middle of the kitchen table or in that house, those flowers, the spirits of those flowers, bring something incredible into that environment. I mean, you cannot notice it, right? The energy and the spirits, that just whatever it brings to you, whether you're a healer or you're not a healer, but everybody will notice those flowers. Then if you want to take it to another level, okay, so what's happening with those flowers? What's the name? What's the color? Where do they come from? The spiritual connection, the spiritual being that's with those flowers. Flowers, I guess it's flores de Bach, right? I mean, very powerful medicine. And so we have thank God, we have access to so many beautiful plants, flowers, and connect on so many different levels, and there's so many different benefits for us that we take for granted, I feel. I think we just take it for granted. We don't really respect the plant world. We just it's been so commercialized, and the whole connection, I think, has been lost there. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody just kind of throws them out, and they kind of there, and if we really go to that next level and understand that connection, we can receive so much more, and I think plants help us be better human beings, basically.
Well, I totally agree with you with that. As you can see, I have plants all around me, both indoors and outdoors. I've become really aware and notice hospital care has changed, where they have integrated flowing water, musical sounds, beautiful places. They have artwork. They put plants around, and they have begun to understand that we're living in an interdependency and an interrelationship with nature as an integral part in helping our health and well-being. and often this is minimized, but it is an essential element to support people in their healing process.
Absolutely. And, for healers or just people who aren't feeling well, plant medicine is just so important for clearing, cleansing, protecting. The plants and the plant guardians will open up the doorways. They will show you the doorways to other worlds. They will escort you to other worlds. They will protect you while you're in other worlds. They will share their wisdom and knowledge. They will connect you with other spiritual beings from other spiritual realms. They will show you the pathways to connect with the star people. They will show you the pathways to connect to the rock people. They will show you, all the paths and doorways. They will give you the wisdom, the knowledge, the protection. It is just all there waiting for us to kind of connect and share and in all those ways.
Well,
And so, there's so much there, so much, so much.
Well, I was just going to say this will be a teaser for some of the next work that we do together in teaching people more about how to engage more fully with that aspect of life. And we're getting close to closing for now. And I want to mention that Paul has taken us on a journey of what his personal experience was over time as he added to his professional expertise as a chiropractor in the development of energy medicine in his life and how it opened him up to other avenues. And where some of these topics may sound far out to some folks, they were for me when I began with this information. But now I'm at the point of I need to and I want to share it with others. Not that they have to think the same way that I do, but they have the opportunity to experience some things. If they find it interests them, then they'll walk the path to add the dimensions to their lives. So I appreciate your sharing your journey with us, Paul, and helping to hold the energy for this level in this work and encourage people to take the leap of faith to explore new territory.
Yeah, and it's for everyone and anyone at any level. I was just kind of given little bits and pieces about, of my journey. There's so much more, and there's, anybody who wants to know more, who wants to know the details and the hows and what plants and crystals and I don't even really touch people anymore in the energy healing sessions. I mean, but they are touched. And so all these little details and how do you develop and become who you need to be, I guess we'll do that in the next series, right?
That's right. So
but it's for anyone, it's for everyone. There are no limits. There are no, you don't have to know anything. You just have to want to take the journey.
That's a perfect way. So do give folks who would like to connect with us to either through energymedicinepartnerships.com and you can link up with those who participated in the Congress on a whole variety of topics. And directly, Paul, you want to give your contact details that folks could connect with you?
Sure. If anybody wants to, send me or write to me, dcpaul008@gmail.com. Have a great day.
Sounds great. It was
wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.